Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our lovely little spook show. As mentioned in the last episode, we decided we'll be going down a movie pathway, and we will be catering to James's wet dream here and talking about Rob Zombie finally.
Yep.
Woo!
Also have a special guest here today.
Yes.
Introduce
Yeah.
yourself, my good friend.
Yeah, we have no fucking clue about anything regarding the science of filmography or digital media of any kind. So we are joined by a very special guest who knows quite a lot about this field as an expert in her craft. Joining us from Elevator Conversators, we have Luna. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Wait, I know things?
Yeah.
You make films. You're in school for film.
When was that established? I've never
You're in school, dumbass! What do you mean?
I've never touched a camera in my life. What are you two yammering about?
Okay.
Yeah, bud? Yeah!
Yeah, I do a little bit of filmmaking here and there. Well,
a little bit.
a little bit.
A little bit. Just a smidgen, if you will.
Just about as much as tea is left in this can. Don't know how much.
How much tea is left in the can?
Enough to spill on myself, apparently.
Fair.
Good job.
Hey, gotta miss your mouth, you know? Hey, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, dog?
I actually don't know what you're saying, because I'm really good with my mouth, actually.
Man, you walked into that one.
We're doing good.
You walked directly into that one.
So yeah, my dog, Rob Zombie.
My dog rhymes.
Let's start with talking about the best idea is the first in the Firefly trilogy, House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah. Actually, James, if you don't mind, my good sir, I think we should maybe do a double whammy here, because a lot of people don't actually know about Rob Zombie. They just kind of know him either as a singer or as a director. They don't really know the actual in-depth.
So we're going to talk about him himself?
Yeah, that too. I figured that'd be a cool idea. So maybe we can do like a little
great
dive
idea.
into his background on our boy here, and we'll make stops along the way to discuss his films, because we love background in history, and we also love factoids and reviews. Is that good? Is that a good plan?
Yeah, I like that sound of that.
Yeah.
A big thing I want to talk about right off the bat is Rob Zombie's extremely unusual upbringing, with his parents being both circus performers. That at one point, I guess the circus really pissed off a whole group of the people or townsfolk. So an angry mob came into the circus and burned it down around him. And you're thinking, that sounds fucking made up. It ain't. That's literally the life of Rob Zombie.
It's really real. Yeah. But yeah, so Robert Cummings, or Rob Zombie as we all know and love, was born in Haverhill, Massachusetts on January 12th of 1965. He has a younger brother, Michael David, who's known as Spider-1, who's also the lead singer of Power Man 5000. Yeah. Of course, Rob is mostly known as a huge groove metal and rock singer, but he's also known for being a huge horror enthusiast, and he's, actor, writer, director, as we'll talk about mostly today. Not a lot is known about Rob's past, but like James said, he got his first guitar in kindergarten, and his parents used to work at a carnival, and like James says, a riot broke out, people started throwing out guns, pew-pewing all over the place. And funny enough, Rob has actually mentioned more recently that some random ass dude came up to him and hit him in the face with a hammer on that same day.
Jesus Christ.
I think he was, I can't remember, I think he was like late kindergarten, early middle school, I think that age. He was very young.
He just hit him with a hammer?
Yeah, some kid just walked up to some kid and just, doink.
Doink. Respect to you, baby.
Yes. If I got doinked with a hammer,
I would be making killer movies. Literally.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, head injuries help with creativity.
Hey. Belt. Mobile idea generator activate.
He should make a movie about his life, because that's just awesome.
No,
he should.
He probably wouldn't do that. I feel like that would be out of character for him.
No, yeah. It's not.
You have to have somebody, like, going around trying to actively... Hammer Guy goes around to kill him.
Hammer Guy 2, Electric Boogaloo.
There's just somebody running away naked for some reason. Nobody knows, but hey.
Staple of the Rob Zombie series, a naked woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Many naked women, actually.
Lot of titty, lot of bussy.
Good for all my lesbians out there, am I right?
Alright. Going back on topic here, more about Rob Zombie, the man himself.
So, kind of cutting a little bit here. So, Rob wasn't... Oh my god, I'm still thinking of bussy now. God damn it. My mind's gonna be play for the rest of this.
You did that to yourself.
I did. I really did. So, Rob wasn't exactly a great student in school, and he actually graduated from high school by taking a bunch of art classes to bring his grades up. But he didn't attend school. He only went to his art classes. He somehow passed.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Actually respectable.
Yeah, fair enough.
Wish I could have done that.
Yeah. So after he graduated high school in 1983, Rob moved to New York and attended Parsons Design Institute, where he met his bandmate and his girlfriend of 7 years, Shawn Yseult. And in 1985, they co-founded the band White Zombie. You know, kind of the start of it all. Yeah. While the band was getting off of the ground, Rob actually worked a few very interesting jobs that included a bike messenger. Then he was actually a production assistant on Pee-wee's Playhouse, the show. And then when that gig ended, he became a graphic designer for a fair bit of porn magazines. So this guy was definitely starting his roots early.
It's funny thinking about Rob Zombie, of all people, working on fucking Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Literally.
Pee-wee's Playhouse. Man, wait, didn't he die? Didn't he pass away recently?
Yeah, unfortunately,
I think he did. At least I thought I heard about something like that.
Yeah, very unfortunately, the actor that plays Pee Wee Herman there has passed away as of, I think, last week. Along with another pass away that was very unfortunate. What was this?
Jimmy Buffett? I know he
Jimmy
passed
Buffett.
away recently.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett. Sorry, I'm kind of
That was
tired
the
right
lead
now.
singer of Smash Mouth or whatever it was?
No, what?
Wait, shit, hold on. I swear he died too. I think
he also...
Yeah, no, he did. He did die,
he also
yes.
died.
I'm not just losing my shit. Fuck you, James.
Jimmy Buffett, how do you... Margaritaville? You've never been to a Margaritaville before?
I have, but that doesn't automatically mean I know who Jimmy Buffett is.
It says Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville across the top.
Yeah, I don't know. Their Sprite is pretty mid, so I'm not really interested.
Literally. Wait,
Okay.
Let me find their Sprite here, because I know we have it.
Yeah, I can't remember. What did we rate the Sprite here at Margarita?
For reference, friends, they have a...
Sprite here in so long.
I know, we need to add to it.
For reference, they've got a ring thing going on where they rate every single Sprite at every restaurant that they go to.
Oh, yeah. Every restaurant, arcade, establishment, you name it. Do we have Horror Nights? We need to rate Horror Nights Sprite.
Oh, okay, so I'll read off what we have so far. McDonald's, for me and Ashley, obviously it's a 10.
Absolutely, obviously.
Michael Myers, it was an 8.
Pathetic.
And that was before they started using, like, whatever concoction they're using to make it less spritey.
Mm-hmm.
Dave & Buster's, all of us agreed that it was a 7. Pretty good. Margaritaville was a fucking 4, because that shit was not good.
That was some stank Sprite. If you're asking me, man, it was like dry.
4 was generous. It literally, I swear it was dry.
It tasted dry. So I'm like, how do you make a drink dry? I'm sorry, Jimmy Buffett. I'm not bashing on your Sprite, but I am.
Oh, we are, because ew.
Great, insult the dead guy in the first 2 minutes for a podcast.
We're great people. We're very nice people. Very nice people.
Oh shit, he's dead. Wait, Jimmy Buffett.
That's why we were talking about it.
Great Sprite. Racetrack was a 6 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's okay.
It's pretty good.
Texas Roadhouse. I gave it a 6.5. You gave it a 5, Ashley.
I hate it. I would rather drink the toilet water than the Texas Roadhouse Sprite. I'm being completely honest with you.
I mean, fair, but
not literally.
Arby's actually did really good. Arby's got a 9 out of 10 for both of us.
Arby's was good. They shocked me.
Yeah, they honestly... We need to start ranking every drink at every restaurant, because this is actually good to see what drinks to get from where.
Oh, yeah. Like, if you're in the mood for a Sprite and you're not near McDonald's, just go to the other place. There you go.
And if we go to Whiskey Cake together?
Oh, that was for the Rob Zombie concert that we all went to.
Yeah.
That actually did really good. That got an 8 out of 10, so you're welcome, Mr. Zombie.
Looping back. That's not... It's not... It's a
Petters
restaurant.
and Olive Garden tied with getting 4.
Mm-hmm.
Burger King was really bad. I don't even want to diss them like that.
Burger King's terrible.
God. Like,
I ranked it a 2. You ranked it a 1.5, Ashley. James, we don't have your rank on here, so at some point you need to do that.
Yeah.
God, Burger King scars me for life. I have freaking Vietnam flashbacks from a Burger King, and they haven't gone away.
You know what? I think, in all fairness, I think the day that we went, that was when the machine had broken down. I've had Burger King Sprite since then, and it's been not good, but it hasn't been as bad as that day.
I was about to say, what isn't broken at a Burger King?
That's true, especially our souls.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Burger King was our last rating.
By the way, for anyone in the audience listening, how could Sprite be contributed to horror? Well, depending on how watered down your Sprite is, it could traumatize you, and scare you, and haunt you until wit's end. So, my friends, if you ever think to yourself, man, that movie was really scary, what could be scarier than that? Watered down Sprite that isn't McDonald's. Not sponsored! We're not sponsored by Sprite. Not sponsored.
Just got some good-ass Sprite.
The last recent times I've been to McDonald's, the Sprite's been ass.
Yeah, I've been thinking the same thing. I think they did something to change it, but they used to be good. They used to be the best.
Yeah. McDonald's, get your game up, man. I know the Grimace Shake it's gone. I know. You have to bring back your baby.
Do. It's important. This is this is literally life altering.
It's life or death here. Yes.
Speaking of the Grimace Shake, that was also terrifying. How did we get on this topic? We were talking about something.
Rob Zombie in his movies. We were getting to his background, and then we just started talking about Sprite somehow.
Did you say Sprite from Hell?
No, I said Sprite somehow, but yes, Sprite from Hell, aka Burger King.
I really thought you were gonna make the connection of 3 from Hell.
God.
Yeah, we are talking about Rob Zombie this podcast here.
We are. Should we continue, everybody?
The recording thing is named Greg.
Craig.
Craig.
Oh, Craig.
Yes, his name. Little guy.
Anyway, continue the backstory. I'm listening.
You're good. I was gonna say we're getting loophole. Oh God, we're starting way too early.
I feel like this is revenge for what I did on your podcast.
It straight up is. That's what I was thinking as I was reading out the Sprite tier list.
Yeah.
Which I already told you all what happened, but yeah.
Fair.
You caused this, James.
Literally your fault.
All right. All your fault. Anyway, continuing down the zombie hole, if you will. So, during the late 80s, White Zombie, when they were the band, released a few EPs and also 2 studio albums, but it was after their 4th EP that they got the attention of Geffen Records. And also at this time, Sean and Rob broke up, and he got together with his girlfriend and now wife, Sherry Moon Zombie. Who is fantastic, may I add.
Oh yeah, and she always has a role in any one of his films.
She's always in his films, always.
She always plays like the very evil side character.
She does! I love it.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Apparently that chaotic energy.
In 1996, Rob here changed his last name into Zombie to make it his full legal name.
Yep. Yeah, he
I
did.
didn't know he did that. That's cool.
Yeah. So, anyway, so Rob Zombie released their major label debut album, which, bear with me, because some of his album names are super funky and long, so I may mispronounce them, but bear with me. So, their major debut album was called La Sexoristo, which is the Devil Music Volume 1, which was released back in 1992. This would enter the Billboard Top 200 chart and sell over 2 million records in the US alone. They would also release one more studio album, followed by a remix album with their final studio album, Astro Creep 2000, Songs of Love, Destruction, Other Synthetic Delusions of the Electric Head in 1995.
Which is an amazing album.
Yes. The music video for a song on the album, More Human Than Human, would be where Rob would actually make his directional debut, and after that, he legally changed his name to Rob Zombie, as James stated, and he went on to direct multiple videos for the band until they disbanded in 1998. So it was like his albums and where he started getting these creative juices flowing. He's like, you know what? We're going to take a crack at directing. We're going to go ahead and take this digital media stuff and we're going to do what we can with it because that's what we do.
Yeah.
So
he went on a full journey just going through the clockworks.
Oh yeah, like he just went. He did everything. He tried everything. So that's really cool because you don't see a lot of people, especially like celebrity or big name people, doing stuff like that. They usually kind of like stick with one thing and then just kind of run with it. Meanwhile, you have Rob over here who's trying like music writing, songwriting, directing, writing. He's an artist. He makes a lot of his own art covers and his own merch stuff. Like he does everything. It's crazy. Yeah, he doing things. Okay, yes. So, Rob's first solo outing was actually a song titled "The Hands of Death, Burn Baby Burn" that he wrote and performed with Alice Cooper in 1996, and was also nominated for the Best Metal Performance at the 39th Annual Grammy Awards. Ooh. After this, Rob would create his debut album, Hellbilly Deluxe, 13 Tales of Cadaverous Contorting Inside the Spook Show International. I love his album name so much. That's
also an amusingly phenomenal album. If you can, everyone, try it. If you can, just give a listen. If you've never heard Rob Zombie, go look up some of his songs, More Human Than Human, especially.
Yes. Especially his videos. His videos are cool.
Songs, but I know a few of his own songs were in House of a Thousand Corpses, I believe it was.
He did the entirety of the soundtrack, actually, I believe.
Oh, well, there you go. And I love the music in House of a Thousand Corpses, so he's doing great.
And Luna, if you remember, at Horror Nights in 2019, he had that giant scare zone that was completely dedicated to his first album. That was super, super cool. He had homages to Dragula. They had the actual car from the music video there. That's had that giant dude from... I can't remember his name or what song it was, but he was also at the concert that we went to see. The giant guy, the Robo guy on stage. That was during.
Are you talking about the one? Are you talking about the one from Meet the Creeper or the one from More Human?
I don't. I think it's Meet the Creeper, but I can't remember what song, but it was like a giant dude.
Yeah, he played the song at the concert we went to, right?
Yeah, like he was just on stage, kind of going around like. I know I've seen him, what music video is that dude from? I don't know.
Where is he from? Yeah, I remember walking past the scare zone and we were just like, do we want to leave? So we just sat on a bench for a little bit.
Yeah, we did. We're just like smelling the fog and taking in all the surroundings.
Oh, the fog is the best part. Oh, and he had like the projection up on the thing of like the music videos and everything too.
Yeah, he did. That was so cool.
I think he actually did also pay homage to House of a Thousand Corpses on there. I feel like there was like a flash of something from it, so that was cool too.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he actually had the song in the scare zone because that same year they had the house for House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah,
really cool.
That was magnificent.
James, you missed out. That house was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm so sad that I missed that house.
Walking around and just seeing all the little details that he made sure went into it. Oh my god, and the cat things folding at the beginning, that was awesome.
Like we walked into the gas station. Oh my god.
It's actually
he did very well because he did not forget his fried chicken and everything.
He had the bucket in his hand. He was eating the chicken.
Yeah.
There's actually a video.
You know, that one year where we went to Kirby Farms and we dipped our hand in the poop.
The pudding. I'm sorry, James. We started. I'm sorry.
What's in pudding?
Chocolate.
Yeah, there's actually a video of Rob and Sherry Moon Zombie going through that house. That's that got recorded.
Really?
Where they did a whole interview. Yeah.
Where is it? I want to find this video.
I'll show you. I'll send you guys the link here real quick. If
I didn't know.
Yeah, they actually got the chance to go through it.
It's really
Crazy.
cool.
Oh my god, I love that.
For all you listeners here, you can actually find this just by simply typing in Rob Zombie goes through House of 1,000 Corpses.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, speaking of the house while James was looking it up, I think that my favorite, and Luna, we're talking about, you know, your expertise in digital media stuff. If I don't know if you remember, because it's been a few years since we've done it, but if you remember that room that you went in, and they had like TV screens just plastered everywhere that had different scenes from movies, like the movie and stuff. Like there was like, I don't remember. There was like TV screens on the ceiling, on the wall, on the floor. Like they were everywhere.
Were these screens? I thought they were projections.
Maybe they were projections, but they looked like
I remember
screens.
specifically the one long one on the ceiling doing the projection. Yeah, so I think they were projections, but that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, how hard is it to do stuff like that? Like, you know, the kind of like, I don't know if it was like a montage or whatever, but
to make a montage, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but it's not easy because those have to be very time consuming because you have to have enough stuff to make a montage with.
mm-hmm.
And with all the movies and everything, obviously they had enough. So, but one of the harder parts is also deciding what should go in, and especially where. Because you're looking at one wall and it's showing this really cool thing, then you're looking at another wall, so it can be confusing on what you should put up there. But I think they did really good in that.
Yeah, it was
especially projecting it because you can't actually see. Because okay, I'm like blanking on whether it was actually screens or projectors. If it was like TV screens, then that's just fun, like mounting TVs up and like doing all that. If it was projectors, props to them because that shit I know is not easy.
No, it was so long I can't remember. I'm sure if maybe like I look at the video or something, we can maybe see if they show the room that is. But it was so long ago, I can't remember what they used. I just remember it happened. I just don't remember exactly what they used.
I've always been a big fan of...
Oh, sorry, go ahead, James.
I get to talk, yay!
Sorry!
You're good. I've always really liked the just look of like a whole wall mounted of televisions. I know it uses a whole lot of power and it can be kind of a pain to set up, but it has such a great feel to it.
It does. It especially immerses you in it, because then you're just like, everything, like, you're watching everything, but it also feels like everything's coming back at you, so it's like a little cocoon of fear.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know why, but, remember that school trip that we did where we went to the, that news station? It kind of, like, where they had all the screens and stuff, they had, like, the multiple thing in the back, and it kind of reminded me of that, because you're, like, immersed in all of this stuff, but they have, like, one thing on one screen, and you got another thing on another screen, and it just kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, just imagine that, but instead of all the cameras being pointed at different areas, all the areas were in one giant circle, and the cameras were all facing you. That's kind of how it would, like, be, and it's especially cool because in the TV studio you can actually see yourself in them, so it's just fun.
I know. I love little details and stuff like that. I'm a geek for it. It's stupid, but hey, you know.
Details. I don't know if they did it on purpose or not, but the lighting in the corpse house was really good at showing everything. Because it's like some parts were really dark, some parts were really bright. Not really bright, but were brighter. And so it gave like a really depth of field where you need to be focusing, but also not too much brightness where you don't feel like you're actually like in there with them.
Yeah, and I thought it was really cool, especially since it kind of like did the similar lighting and stuff that was actually in the same scenes from the movie. Like they had the scene with Captain Spaulding at the beginning. They had that lighting there. It was very bright, very welcoming, but also they had certain parts that was super dark that was like more menacing and scary. And then they got scenes where like you go into the Firefly residence, excuse me, and it's just like dark and gloomy and mysterious. You're like, okay, this is super weird. I don't feel welcome here. So it was really cool seeing how they use different lighting. Like just even like minimum lighting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was super cool.
Like taking away the lighting rather than adding it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna say something, James?
I wasn't actually there to go through the house, unfortunately, so I said we don't have much to say about it.
Yeah, we're just trying to describe it at least a little bit for you to kind of give you an idea since you weren't there.
Yeah. From what I've seen, especially the video I've seen, which is in our general chat there if you guys want to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
But Rob's going through the actual house looks really fun.
It was fun. It was so cool.
I'm just a little sad that I never actually got to properly, walk my ass through the Firefly residence and Captain's Ball Station and everything.
Yeah, maybe they'll bring it back in a few years.
I was about to say, we gotta pull for it to come back.
Please, let's go! We need Hellraiser Alien! We need...
We need it again. It was too good.
That'd be such a good year.
Honestly, I think putting a scare zone... Sorry? What did you say, James?
Huh?
Sorry, I think putting both the scare zone and the haunted house in 1 year was both genius and also kind of like not the best tactic. Because although it's fun to go through both at the same time and see like all like everything that's going on, I think separating it into probably different years would have also worked.
Mm-hmm.
Them. Though it's hard to say how it would have gone, because it could have been a thing of like one person could go 1 year, another person can't go another year, or there's the thing of like never hearing his music before, not being interested in it, but loving House of a Thousand Corpses. So there's also that, or vice versa. So there's that whole thing.
I think honestly it worked pretty well putting them both together. I almost wish they did that with The Weeknd when The Weeknd was part of this, because having a Weeknd scare zone would have been phenomenal.
That would have been pretty cool.
That's actually something I didn't get to experience, sadly, because was it last year?
Yeah, you didn't get to join us last year, but we did tell you about it, I think. I'm sure we did.
Oh, that was...
Because you guys said that it was surprisingly really good.
It was very good.
Yeah, because I know, like, people were kind of, like, iffy about it, because it's like, what's scary about The Weeknd? I haven't seen anything, like, from Halloween Horror Nights about that. I was, like, avoiding it a little bit until after you guys had already gone, and I just never got to it.
Yeah, good. James, go ahead, just explain The Weeknd, if you don't mind.
The actual artist himself or the house?
Not the artist, just the house.
The house was absolutely phenomenal. It tied in a whole lot of stuff from his music videos. It combined just about everything from the specific album of After Hours, I believe, which was an entirely horror-themed album. And that was dedicated just to horror. And at first, when I thought that The Weeknd was going to come into the house, like coming into it, I thought, why? Because I hadn't listened to his albums, I didn't know anything about the guy, and I hadn't watched any of the music videos. But going through it, they made an amazing decision, honestly. It made me like The Weeknd a whole lot. I've really liked that artist now. The house was really, really good. I absolutely enjoyed walking through it. It showed different scenes from each different music video. And it's strung together just about the entire album. So you listen to parts of it as you're going through, get swung at by The Weeknd. You got to hear one of my favorite songs by him, which was, what was it? Save Your Tears, which is just fitting for especially for a haunted house. But I absolutely love The Weeknd house.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite things about The Weeknd, because again, like James said, I knew about The Weeknd. I listened to his songs occasionally. I knew who he was, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm a massive fan or anything. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go see The Weeknd, But just the way that they pulled everything together, just from the atmosphere, the cue line was just blasting music and lights, and it was just so fun and inviting that people were just singing in the lines and having a good time. It united people. And then when you finally get to the house, like, you're just greeted by the music, and it just throws you into something that's just completely unexpected. I'm like, wow, they did amazing on this.
Yeah, especially since we waited like 2 hours to get into the house.
Yeah, it was worth it. I would wait hours for that house again.
It was more than worth it.
It was amazing. Best house, I think. It was amazing. Yeah. I would have never guessed. And now I'm a huge fan of The Weeknd. A huge fan of The Weeknd.
That house was The Weeknd house.
Yeah, I think it won House of the Year last year, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I agree.
It was amazing. Oh my god.
That's impressive.
But it's just so cool seeing how, like, because, again, like, I know, Luna, you didn't yet watch episode 2 of our podcast, but I'll kind of highlight a little thing from it. James and I were talking, when we were deep diving into Horror Nights, we were talking about how when Horror Nights first started, when they were still Fright Nights, and then when it transitions to the first 10 years of the event, it was more original content. It didn't really focus on IPs very much. But as it progressed, we got all this cool stuff that a lot of people are more keen in knowing about. So, and that includes musical artists, because there's only been like a few. There's only been like 2 now, including Rob Zombie, 2 music-related houses. The first being Alice Cooper, and then Rob Zombie, and now The Weeknd. Because
did Billie Eilish have one?
No, it was rumored, but I don't think they did it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Billie Eilish was replaced by The Weeknd, which honestly, good choice. I'm cool with that choice.
I think it was a good choice right there, especially.
Yes, it was. But just because, I mean, I would have never expected ever, because, like, Alice Cooper, Rob Zombie, that makes sense to be at Halloween Horror Nights, but The Weeknd, not so much. But after seeing the things that they did with that, it really opens up a bunch of pathways for stuff that they can do in the future. It's like, wow. I would have never guessed.
Oh, yeah.
If they can do something so profound with this little thing that happened, then they can do something even more with something that there's a lot of. So
exactly.
Shows you how crazy they can get.
I know. It's mind-blowing. I love it. I love the creativity.
There's just one thing I wanna say, like, on the topic of Halloween Horror Nights.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley, this is actually specific to you.
How so? I'm scared.
So I noticed, actually, you pointed it out to me. There was a little oopsie that happened.
I fixed it. You can't say this anymore. You can't.
Like, I just like the reminder that Ashley is stuck in
bury me in the mud. Go ahead. I own up to my mistake. I've renounced myself. I made the fix.
We're in Halloween Horror Nights 32. This thing started in some year that I forgot because I'm not counting. we're not 10 years ago.
Yeah, you mean how? Yeah. Oh, James, I don't know if you know about this story. So, I was going through Instagram one day, like maybe 2 days ago. Yesterday, I don't know. I was going through Instagram, and one of the Horror Nights pages that I follow, Orlando fan, made a post about something with the sign. Because if you know, like how you go to like where Chupacabra and Dead Man's Pier was last year, in the back where they have the giant theater with the white sign. They every year for Horror Nights they put up stuff saying Halloween Horror Nights blah 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 whatever year it is.
Yeah.
Universal accidentally, because it's the 32nd year of Halloween Horror Nights, they accidentally put Halloween Horror Nights 23, which was actually back in 2013. And I screenshotted it, and I sent it to the group chat saying, haha, lol, imagine, something like that.
I forgot what year it was.
Yeah, and little did I know, when I edited the video and I made the thumbnail for episode 2, I accidentally put Halloween Horror Nights 23.
Oh, they got you too.
You made the same oopsie.
I made the same mistake, and now I feel like a jackass.
You're like, the hell are these morons? Aw.
It's fine. Because, like, we're in year 23 and it's HHN 32. So it's like,
Yeah.
in all fairness, it's the same number backward.
Yeah.
It's fine. Typos
yeah,
happen.
It happens. But I fixed it. I fixed the thumbnail. We're good now. So we're good. We're good.
Hey.
Yeah. No beef, Orlando fan, by the way. It happens. I mean, it's 2023.
Oh, serious beef. You got a rag on her.
Yeah, moron.
Loser.
Loser. Anyway.
Loser.
Anyway.
So that's fun. Where did we leave off with Rob Zombie? I'm sorry. I feel like
we're derailing more so than usual, but hey, we're staying kind of on topic.
You have me here. You gotta expect.
Fair enough. You know, we have it's a collaboration between two podcast channels. We're fine. It's expected.
It happens. You know what? I'm just realizing we probably should have brought Jarek on too.
Oh my god. We'll find an episode. We'll find an episode.
Honestly,
we'll have the both of you on, maybe.
That's gonna be a wild one.
Oh, we'll find a good episode, right, James? We'll find a good one.
We'll find a good one. We'll find a good one.
Why do I feel like you already have that set up?
I don't. James might.
No.
Sure, buddy. Sure.
No.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and take a break. We're gonna definitely deep dive, especially after I say this thing. James is gonna get his nitty gritty on. But so, going back to our boy Rob here. In between his first and second solo album, Rob directed his first film, the cult classic that would spawn into 2 additional movies, creating what is known as the Firefly trilogy. House of a Thousand Corpses in 2000, which actually was released in 2003, but we weren't going to talk about that. It was released 3 years later.
That was actually, ironically, it had to do with Universal dropping the film. Because they test screened it, and one of the current chairman, I think it was, said that she thought it was a complete celebration of depravity and hated it, so they dropped it completely. And it went from being something Universal didn't want to touch with a 10-foot pole to looping back around and being a giant event at Halloween Horror Nights. So
yeah, literally.
Yep.
You know,
I still find this funny.
Honestly. I won't lie, when James, because my introduction to it was James calling all of us to his house and being like, we're gonna watch this movie.
We're gonna watch my favorite horror movie. Huh? We're gonna watch my favorite horror movie together, guys, come on!
Yeah. And when he originally showed it to me, I was like, oh, when was this movie made? Like 1990s, 80s or something? And James went, no, 2000. And I was like, okay. That's a thing, because it looks very old school for 2000.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of just his directorial, the way he loves specific shots to make films look like music videos in that one especially. It's very prevalent in the first film. A lot of people compare it to a carnival ride.
Oh yeah.
I can definitely see the similarity.
You need like specific like details to be able to do that. And not just like in sets and everything, but in also the filmography, editing, and all that shit. Color correction must have been a bitch. Suffer. I hate it. I hate color correction so much.
How so? You go into depth about your, because I'm not too sure what color correction actually is. So what is that?
It's basically a thing. So I edit in Premiere Pro. I've only ever used iMovie before that, so even worse. Sorry, James. Premiere Pro's color correction, for me at least, it makes things a little bit easier where everything's set up to where you can do specific numbers, do the color wheel and everything. I hate color correction specifically because I can never get it right. Lighting confuses the shit out of me. So, for example, if you're recording inside with your lights on, it's a very different lighting, as I'm sure anybody could tell from being outside. Because when you're outside, there's more of a blue hue. When you're inside, there's more of an orange hue. So depending on where you're filming, and how bright or dark it is wherever you're filming, you have to be very detailed and careful about actual color that you're working with. So for example, if you want the same color inside and outside, then you have to either decide, do we want the color of, for example, orange lighting like you get from your house lights, or do you want more of a natural lighting like outside? Then you have to decide like the exact like area in which those colors are gonna be. I know you don't have to be that specific, and there are definitely movies that just completely throw color out of the window. Twilight.
Everything must be blue.
Everything must be
blue.
I won't even lie, I wouldn't be surprised if they literally just took a blue filter piece, just set it on the camera and were like, this is the entire movie. I know they did it, when you see the behind the scenes shit, it's not like that. It actually looks a lot better behind the scenes than it does in the movie. It's insane.
Hey, Twilight, Blue Man Group called. They want their face paint back.
Christ.
I love you. It's true. They didn't try. They were just like, you know what, the solution to, but even then you also still have to be detailed with the coloring, because then you have to make sure everything is the same blue hue, which means you have to take into accounting lighting and where you're filming and everything. So it's just a lot of strong feelings process that I hate.
You've got a lot of strong feelings, especially about Twilight.
Sorry, say that again? I didn't hear you.
So you've got a lot of strong feelings about the way Twilight got shot.
I do.
God, Twilight, man.
That's
you know what?
Whole nother issue.
We are still overdue to sit down as a group and watch it. You know what? That could be a podcast episode on its own. Just because of how much we hate it.
Oh, you know what we could do? We could cut the movie in half. One side on my podcast, one side on this podcast.
That'd be hilarious.
Keep watching out for that.
You know what? We might do it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We will in the future. Because we're.
You know what? Honestly, we can use the start of the film to just go on the very technical aspects of filming for my end, and then for the rest of it, we can just shit talk it on here.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, and remember, Luna, we have to use the blue light filter on the podcast. Just cover everything blue.
I call doing it so much. I'm gonna take because the beautiful Ashley actually makes the drawings for everything on the podcast. So I'm gonna take your drawings and I'm gonna blue the shit out of them.
Yeah, just blue, like, you know, blue.
Wait, hold on. I have something blue. I'm sure.
Blue. Oh, blue. Not sponsored. Extreme blue.
You have to. No, I think saying not sponsored is good enough.
Yeah, not sponsored, guys.
For the 15th time. I have a whole can of Pepsi in my room that I'm not drinking.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I guess since we left off at the Firefly, let's actually talk about the Firefly trilogy, because honestly, probably includes my favorite movie of his of all time, House of a Thousand Corpses. I love that movie to death.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. I love it. Just the way that it's shot, the characters are amazing, the story's good. Just, it's overall really good.
Yeah. I heard a lot of people criticize the funhouse-like aspect of it, and just how seemingly incoherent some parts of the story are, but I honestly feel like that adds to the film.
Yeah.
It in a sense makes it way more sinister.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I feel because
of it.
Yeah. And I feel like because like the first movie, understandable if you watch, it's like, okay, this is fine, but I don't really get the characters. As you watch the next two movies, even though they're not as great as the first, I'd say, but you get the gist, because they're kind of like these hillbilly people and you kind of get their demeanor, I guess, which we'll get to 3 from Hell. It's not my favorite. I'm not a big fan of the movie, but
I think honestly, Devil's Reject is my favorite.
I like Devil's Reject a lot.
That. I feel like that one was intended to be shot more like a Western film, an American Western film. So I can understand why you'd like that one a lot. He spent a lot of time trying to make that one like perfect.
Yeah, which respect, because it came out beautifully.
It did. It came out really good. I loved it.
I especially love like the dynamic of characters. So that I think is one thing that especially like gratified me. That's not a word. That's a word, but not the right word. That pulled me toward.
Tutti fucking fruity. Tutti fucking fruity.
Tutti fucking fruity. I love it so much. It was that. You know what? That's exactly what I was thinking about when I said the character dynamics. Oh, yeah. For context, I think we did that to James right after that. I think we made him take us to get ice cream. Was it that day?
Yeah. It was
so funny.
Hilarious.
You can't show us the movie, have them shouting Tutti fucking fruity, and expect us not to do the same, you know?
You can't!
Thank you, James, because I haven't opened the movie set you got me, and I'm scared to, because, like,
around your parents.
Perfectly preserved.
Yeah, I literally I made an impulse buy, like, last year, where I got the entire trilogy on disc. I don't even have a freaking DVD player. Why did I do this?
I do, it's called my Xbox.
Yeah. Oh, crap, that exists!
Yeah, the Xbox can take DVDs.
I forgot, dang. Anyway. But
I was about to say N64s can take DVDs. Bitch, those take cartridges. Cartridges.
Question, Luna, have you seen 3 from Hell?
I've seen all of them, yes.
Okay, I couldn't remember if you saw the latest one. Okay, good. Alright, as someone who is majoring in film and digital media production, what is your honest takes on each movie in a nutshell? Like, just the way that they're shot, the way that they're scripted, just the overall, I guess, gist of them. Yeah. Which ones are really good and do it very well? And, like, what stuff can they improve on in your mindset?
Shit, dog, you ask me serious questions.
I feel like I'm doing an interview or something. Jesus.
I feel like I'm being interviewed, taking journalism to the next level. Jesus Christ.
Okay, I got you. Here, let me rephrase this in a more comfortable way. Dog.
Thank you. Okay, I feel much comfortable now.
Alright, dog. So, movie, right? Yeah. How they film? Are they good? Do they suck? What needs improve?
Movie good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, okay, so, I have my own personal biases when it comes to, the look of films, and that's specific to me liking certain styles, but in an overall, like, concept of how everything was filmed and how he wanted it to come out, I think the first 2 were amazing. I think the third one, I think that the camera work and the way it was made was good. I'm not a particular fan of the plot more so than anything else.
I feel kind of the same way. It also just was a little sad not seeing Sid Haig after he died.
Yeah. I feel like having Sid there would have made it better. I mean, understandably, you can't really prevent someone's death, unfortunately. Yeah. And they did well for what they had, but it just didn't feel the same. And I think that's probably what kind of lacked a little bit. Because they had, if I recall correctly, they had him in the beginning of the movie, but he died from, like, an illness or something like that.
I don't think they ever actually showed him. Maybe, like, a quick clip of him getting put in jail, but otherwise they
showed a couple of scenes. But I'm also very glad because this movie is probably one of the longest roles I've seen Bill Moseley in, and Bill Moseley is one of my favorite horror actors, personally.
He's great. I love him. He's fantastic.
Who is it?
Bill Moseley.
Bill Moseley.
Let me look that up.
He's the guy who plays Otis.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure. Sorry, I don't do well with names.
Funny enough,
you're good.
Yeah, funny enough, interestingly, Bill Moseley has been in 3 of my personal favorite horror movies that I have a lot of favorite horror movies, but one of my personal favorites, we've got House of a Thousand Corpses he was in. He was also in Repo the Genetic Opera, which is me and Ashley here's favorite musical that we've ever
God,
watched.
I love Repo. I will put. You know what? That'll be a future episode too. That I love that. That's probably one of my favorite movies. But we're not going to talk about that now. We're going to get off track. I could talk about it for hours.
Yeah. Y'all dragged me into the Repo Man shit, so I'm coming here for that.
It's so good. I love it. Sarah Brightman. You know, I can't. I'm gonna stop right there.
We're gonna get. That's gonna be a whole other issue.
We gotta stop right now.
Back to the Firefly trilogy.
I
think honestly,
I didn't get to finish my thing.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the third thing that he was in there is, funny enough, he played Chop Top in Texas Chainsaw 2.
I haven't actually seen the second one.
Oh yeah, the second one was it was more of a horror comedy, but Chop Top was this character that had just come. I think he was the brother of Nubbins the Hitchhiker.
Mm-hmm.
And he had an entire plate in his head, like a metal plate. And Bill Moseley was so excited to play in that role. He said that I remember him saying in an interview that he said he would have shaved his head and walked backwards for that role.
I love that.
Amber, I'm gonna send you a picture of Chop Top just so you know what he looks like. It will be in this general chat here.
Chop Top's my favorite character from Texas Chainsaw 2, personally.
Oh my god.
So the picture you picked.
I know, very funky looking.
Ooh, let's also grab a picture.
Oh, you know what that reminds me of? Like, it was an anthology I watched recently. I don't know what it was called, but it reminds me of an anthology that I saw recently.
Here's another good picture of him right here with his wig off.
Ooh, beautiful.
The brain open? Awesome.
We love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna dive back into the Firefly trilogy because I just wanted to continue what I was saying there.
Yeah.
So in the first movie, I think somebody mentioned something about what was it? I think it was James especially, because James loves to talk about camera work with me.
Oh yeah.
we have some moments with camera work. I think he also mentioned something with how everything was shot in a specific way. Like, I don't feel like there was a shot out of place.
Yeah.
In the original movie. And it was the same almost in the second movie, but in the second movie I also feel like at some parts it was confusing what they were going for with the shots. If that makes sense. Not that I don't love it, because it ended up working for it. I feel like that's where the confusion kind of started, and especially with Sid's death and between the second and third movie, it just confused the shit out of them on what they were gonna do with that. Not camera operation wise, but I feel like that threw off the whole, not the whole production, but the ideology of the first movie, because it's supposed to be a continuation, but the continuation just kind of died down, I think, the further it went.
Yeah, I agree with you right there.
Yeah, from what I from 3 for Hell, because after the ending of the previous films, especially the masterpiece that was The Devil's Reject, I feel like it was very impossible to imagine how they can all continue the series. I mean, because I think that's it. That's when they ended up when they were driving down the highway with Freebird, and they just got gunned down by authorities. I think that's how the second movie ended, correct?
Yeah, that's how the second movie ends there.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm thinking great. Awesome, wow, I remember. But, Rob's tackles that head on, that just saying that they survived, all of them. There's not even a moment of doubt that we believe it when we're watching the film. Again, personally, I have mixed feelings about this film. The first half is really great, and the second half has its moments, but it's the weakest of the 3 movies, definitely. The group's in prison, Captain Spaulding gets executed or dies, something early on. The parts with the prison break is great. It's twisted in the best way possible. And then when they escape to Mexico, I think it was, there's still some great moments, but it's undercut by the army sent to kill them being awful at their job. They're the worst. and then they get the jump on them in almost every situation. Like, again, it's still a decent film, and I enjoyed it, but I preferred the first two most definitely.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm also happy about the second one, including Danny Trejo, because I absolutely love Danny Trejo as an actor.
I think he was in the third one, too.
He was. I don't recall him in the second one.
Yeah, he was the bounty hunter, the
that's
sheriff.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just very interesting how he went about the prison scene, because I completely forgot all about that. Because the whole thing of them escaping was just very... That's where my attention was most at the beginning of the movie, where it was just like, that's cool. I love how they kind of twist your idea of what you want happening in the movies. In the first movie, you're supposed to hate them and you want, like, the person who's escaping to survive. Even if it, like, is, like, fun for them, you just still want the person at the end to survive. Then in the second movie, you're like, well, we can forget about what happened in the first movie, right?
That didn't happen.
It's a very interesting thing that
a little misdemeanor on their end. And I especially love the idea of having people protesting for them to be out of jail. That was an interesting thing.
Because that happens in real life.
Huh?
That happens in real life all the time.
Yeah. So I like that he included that into it to be like, this is a thing. And it's really interesting how you go from slowly, like, hating these characters to, ooh, but they're so funny and great, to the third movie where it's just like, what is happening?
A really interesting thing that I've seen several people bring up, especially with the way the first movie is shot, is with characters that you're trying to establish a link with, you tend to show them first in a film to establish that bond.
Mm-hmm.
Think about House of a Thousand Corpses. Who is the very first character you meet?
Captain Spaulding.
Yes, so we're already starting out meeting someone who's batshit insane, but because it's the first person we're introduced to, we can't help but root for them. And it doesn't help that Rob intentionally, he said in a couple interviews, that he wanted to make these terrible, horrible, awful people lovable. In a way. But that was primarily his point in the second movie with, scenes like the Tutti fucking fruity bit and everything. It's just really interesting with the way plot can be set up like that. You can have this horrible, evil character, but you show them first, you can't help but root for them.
Yeah, it's just so cool how they do stuff like that, because it's like, it's definitely not supposed to be the case, but it just ends up being so. It's like, wow. Great writing. Like, it's fantastic writing. Because, like, when James, like you said, Luna, was gonna have all of us at the house watching this movie, I thought, man, this is gonna be like some gross out horror film like Saw or something. But instead we got like a bunch of comedy, stylish editing, beautiful, gorgeous scene transitions, an amazing soundtrack. Like, Captain Spaulding is an amazing character. The film is like a lot of fun in general. It does get gruesome at some points because, horror movie, Rob Zombie, but it's not the most extreme that I've ever seen. Like, the first half is a lot stronger than the later half, where it becomes more standard horror with the victims being killed and chased. So it kind of pays homage to, like, old classic slasher movies like Halloween and The Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, all those guys. So it's really, really super cool what they do with that kind of stuff. It's like they mix a bunch of styles and just kind of become creative with it and just mash it together to create something new.
Yeah.
Sure. It's also a huge thing of psychology, because like James said, the first person you show on the screen is going to be the person that you're rooting for. Because I don't think at any point watching the first movie, I ever went, I don't like Captain Spaulding. Immediately from the get-go, I was like, this dude is great. He knows what he's doing. But then he ended up being the one to bring the character back to Dr. Satan.
Dr. Satan, yes.
Dr. Satan!
Yeah, he was the one that ended up bringing her back to Dr. Satan, and it's like, but I still like you, even though you did this thing. So I do like how, because I do like how it's a whole thing of also psychology, where it's figuring out, how do you get people to root for somebody who's doing something horrible to normal people that would be like us? Because because you don't often root for the serial killer unless it's funny or unless there's some like correlation to that. And although the movies are funny and it builds up its characters to be like normal people, it's just an interesting thing of he did horrible things, but hey, we all do horrible things, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and since you guys bring that up, because, remember also the first time that we watched this film, I'm not going to drop any names without permission, but one of our friends that was watching the film with us, remember how at the end of the film, or during especially during the latter half of the film, they were just, I can't remember the girl's name, but they hated her. They couldn't stand her being on screen. They wanted the villains on screen. And I thought that was super interesting.
Really? Are you talking about Imp?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
No, and when they watched the first movie, they were really upset that the girl died.
Oh, wait, am I thinking of somebody else then?
Thinking of the second movie, I think.
Oh, maybe I am.
I want to see these characters. Because remember, when we watched the first movie, they, like, at the end of the movie, they were like, no! I wanted them to live! But then in the second movie, they were like, no! I want these guys to live!
Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm confusing the films here. That's probably
at the end of the second movie, that's where they all get shot at and it gets left on a cliffhanger. And that's where they were like, no, they should have lived. So I think that might be what you were thinking.
Yeah. Most likely. Speaking of cliffhanger stuff, the second movie. As we know, movies that usually come after the first aren't as good, but they can be, I guess. They're okay. I have a little bit of a gripe with Devil's Rejects, and here's why. So, the comedy is toned down, that's not my problem, but the comedy that was there, that made the first movie so enjoyable and so fun, was toned down to an exponential level, and it was replaced with some really uncomfortable moments that made me super uncomfortable.
Oh,
and I usually don't...
I know exactly what you're going to talk about here.
Yeah. Again, it's not extreme gore, which I'm fine with. But it was very unsettling. And, the scene transitions were even wackier. I mean, Spaulding gets more screen time, and that's just great the whole way through, absolutely. Though, the moment where he's threatening the child for not giving him a reason why he dislikes clowns is absolutely brilliant. It's hilarious. But it changes gears a lot throughout. Like, when it's creepy, it's creepy. When it's funny, it's funny. It's almost cathartic when the tables turn towards the ends, and the final moments in the car were pretty amazing. But yeah, that uncomfortable scene, I don't know if you guys recall, but there is a scene where they go to this hotel, I think, and they take, this room, the hotel room, with some hostages, and Otis is very gross with one of the female patrons. Now, I mean, it's supposed to be shock horror, I get it, but, yeah. I mean, in no ways did it make it an unenjoyable film for me. I'll absolutely watch it again, but it wasn't something that I was 100% on board with, if that makes sense.
Because he was, that way toward woman in, I think, the first movie, but it never escalated to the point that it did in the second movie. And I completely agree, because I feel the same as you. It also made me very uncomfortable watching it.
Yeah.
It made Otis
those moments where it's like, if that was just cut out of the movie, would have been still a good movie.
Yeah, it could have been perfectly fine. Oh, I'm sorry, James, go ahead.
It actually made Bill Moseley. I remember hearing about an interview where in between takes of that specific scene, he sat down with Rob and was like, "Man, this is bumming me out, man." And Rob said, "Art's uncomfortable."
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of scenes like that. I'm just not.
Yeah.
Just because of my background as a woman, and also just some stuff that I've been through, and also some things that people that I've known that's been through. It's just not something that I'm 100% favorable of, but I'm not going to be like, oh, that's horrible. We need to cancel this movie. We need to ban this movie. That's not what I'm trying to do, because people, especially with film, there's so many different ways to get your point across. And if that's how you feel you need to get your point across, Sure, but it's just not something that I'm gonna be 100% okay with, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There are like moments where it's like you want to show this really intense thing, and you want to make a point about it. I don't feel like there was a point ever made. I feel like it was just done to be done. And like it would have made, I guess, kind of sense if it happened in the first movie with the context of what was going on with the cheerleaders in the basement. In the second movie, there was really no context to that, and there was really no reason for it to kind of be there.
Yeah.
Because it's like one thing to make a point. I still would feel uncomfortable, but at least there's a reason it's there. It just, like, literally, like I said, if you cut that section out, cut from point A to point B, I don't feel like there would have been as much of a difference. It could have just been the same with her running out. I feel like that was just one way to get a naked person, once again, to run.
Thankfully, I remember specifically that scene only goes that far in the directorial cut, I believe. In the actual other cuts, it doesn't include the ending of that scene.
Yeah.
Which is a lot more palatable.
Mm-hmm. But it's just taking a quick deep dive before I guess we continue on to his other films. But like for instance, like films that do weird, creepy stuff for a reason, like stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's part of the film. It's kind of the part of the character's background. But is it really necessary? Probably not. Probably not. Quote me or correct me if I'm wrong. But in films like Midsommar, where they have really gross, uncomfortable scenes, they kind of highlight cult behavior. It kind of shows you, hey, these are red flags. What the hell's going on? I feel like that's gross out and creepy stuff for the goal of doing something to kind of prove a point. And I think that's a little different than, hey, I'm a hillbilly and I hate people. I'm gonna go ahead and molest this woman and shove a gun down her panties. Like, I don't know if there's exactly a point behind it, but I mean, I can't really do much about it, but hey.
The directorial cut goes farther.
I don't think I've seen the directorial cut, and I don't know if I want to.
You probably don't want to.
I haven't seen it, and I definitely don't want to.
No.
Yeah.
Have you seen? If anything, can you give us like can you make it a kind of summary, a digestible summary? Or is that just impossible?
It's Rob Zombie.
That could mean many things, dear.
Yeah.
Here, I'll just type it real quick to you.
Okay. Like if I read it, it's fine. I'm weird like that. If I read something, I'm like, oh, that's fine. But if I watch it, it's different.
Yeah, because then you have like a visual representation to go with it. If you just read something, you can just immediately wash it out of your mind. At least in some cases. I know I'm a very like visual thinker, but it's easier for me to get something out of my mind than if somebody says it or I watch it.
Also, James, I think I may have seen the directorial cut. That sounds very familiar. God damn
it. Very thankfully.
Did you type it to me?
No, I haven't typed it to you. I'll type it to you right now. But very thankfully, it's just a bit of a way of easing your mind about the things that happen in that specific scene. The actress and Bill Moseley and all of them all had a really good time working on the film. There's a bunch of behind-the-scenes footage where they're all smiling and laughing together and screwing around. And even the bit of her after that scene where she's like lying dead in a puddle of blood. She's fucking spit blood at one of them and they all start laughing.
No. Well, that's just good team effort here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for me, I tend to separate, because being a film student, you kind of have to very much immerse yourself, or at least for me, I very much have to immerse myself in a film, so I kind of definitely separate real life from film, which I think is also one of the reasons why a lot of things don't usually get me in film. I can get really, like, I can watch a lot in film, it's just scenes like that and Midsommar, I'm not good with sex scenes, more so. I'm saying it outright.
Yeah.
But or anything to do with that kind of shit.
Yeah. That's
I have that
thing,
kind
by the
of
way, Amber.
separation usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, friend.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Were you speaking?
Yeah, I sent you the thing that you wanted me to type.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say real quick. I don't even remember. Shit, my memory's bad. Oh, Midsommar.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of those things where I was talking about having a point with what you're trying to make in scenes like those. Midsommar had a very... It's in a lot of cult things, like how they were trying to do in Midsommar. There's a lot of that kind of shit that goes on to, like, convince people to stay in cults and different things like that. I haven't looked much into cults, but I know that there's, like, a theme of that. So there was, like, a point to it, a reason to get there. Whereas, like we talked about in Rob Zombie, I don't feel like there was much. Okay. Sorry, I just like read what James said and I went, I need a verbal response for that.
Like, ah!
Yeah. I'm not even sure I can directly say it on the podcast.
No, let's just for it's just for anyone listening. It's very not nice things.
Yeah. If you don't want to see that, don't see that.
I'll say something kind of slight. It's just for people that have very harsh figures for sexual abuse, you may not want to see the directorial cut. You may want to see the other cut intended.
Yes. Which another directorial cut of another Rob Zombie film that we'll talk about probably a little later. Also,
Where it has the same shit.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. But continue, Luna, if you don't mind.
I was done.
Oh, you're done. Okay, never mind. All right. Anyway, I guess we'll. I guess we'll. Go ahead.
I'm somebody who will never watch that directorial cuts. So
yeah.
I feel like you have to.
Yeah. Hey, if you can't, okay. For disclaimer, if anyone ever says that you have to watch a certain thing and you don't feel comfortable, don't put yourself through that. And do what you feel is comfortable. If you don't put yourself into a weird predicament and scar yourself for life. It's not worth it. Just try it maybe later if you really feel like it, but just do what you can, guys.
You can watch alone that you're not comfortable watching alone, and if it also makes you comfortable watching it with other people, then just throw it out the window. You don't need it in your life.
Disclaimer here. Don't do stupid things and burn out your corneas trying to watch something that's going to scar you for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Anyway, well, disembarking, I guess, from the Firefly trilogy, because I think we spent, like 30 minutes on that, probably.
I have something. We should talk about, this is I almost kind of want to talk just a little bit about 31.
Okay.
I think I've seen 31. Give me 1 second. No, you talk. Let me look it up.
Yeah.
This is one that I don't think either of you have actually watched with me.
I have not. I actually did write some notes for stuff, so yeah, I'm just kind of looking through it. But yeah, go for it, James, because I actually have a very interesting fact that I think you'd find really neat.
31.
No, I haven't watched it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, 31 is not one of the incredibly high-rated ones of Rob's films, but I watched it myself in some of my spare time, and it is a film.
How so?
I really enjoyed it personally. I'll just give you a short little synopsis here. It's, of course, stars Sherry Moon Zombie, but it's about it's a set piece, a periodic piece apparently, set in the 1976. Where 5 carnies are kidnapped by homicidal clowns and forced to play a survival game called 31, where they get chased by these clowns in the maze of rooms for over 12 hours. And, of course, the penalty, being this Rob Zombie film, is torture and murder, and there's a bunch of, like, high aristocrats that are placing bets on them on the entire progress. But, and this one was interesting in that it was crowdfunded online, instead of just normally funded like normal. This movie is something. It stars Sherry Moon. It has a fairly, just like, bit by bit. Okay. You can't see their cameras right now, but they're just dancing over there. Both of them.
Hey, dance party, you know?
You're listening.
But one of the things that really stood out to me is the very first. This will be you'll recognize this from the first podcast. I talked a little bit about this character. The very first killer that you see show up in 31 to hunt them down is a Nazi midget.
James, Nazi little person, remember?
Oh yeah, Nazi little person, sorry.
Yeah, I have the exact quote from you in there. Midget. Oh, sorry. I know people prefer little people. Anyway, he was a Nazi.
Yeah. Either way, it's his name's Sickhead. Just watching him sprint down a hallway at someone holding two knives. That was the most amazing experience I've ever had watching a film in my life.
Man, I'm just gonna have my movie homework's just piling up. First Alien, and now I have to watch 31, which I've been meaning to. I've also been meaning to watch Lords of Salem too.
I've been meaning to watch Lords of Salem too.
Oh, which one?
As Above, So Below.
I don't think so.
Add it to your list.
All right, I must have like a freaking whiteboard of movie names I'm gonna have to watch.
But yeah, for reference, my number one horror movie always has been, always will be, because it has a special place in my heart, is As Above, So Below, because it's the first movie to ever almost scare the shit out of me.
Ooh.
What's it called? As
Above, So Below.
So Below.
I believe it's based on the 7 Rings of Hell. I believe that's what it's called.
Dante! You confound me so, Dante!
It is
This is just me rambling.
Oh, it's based in the Paris catacombs, which I was very fascinated in.
Oh, that sounds so cool!
They actually got to film in the catacombs, I believe, which I think was really cool.
That is really freaking cool, actually. Holy crap. Damn.
It's a really good movie.
Sorry about me losing my shit over this at the Circles of Hell. Dante's Inferno I have very interesting feelings about because it is essentially it's a classic piece of literature that popularized what we currently think of as hell, with the 9 circles. But it's a fucking basically a fan fiction of the Bible.
It is.
And that is the funniest shit to me.
It's hilarious.
He wrote a self-insert fanfic of him going to hell and getting out and going seeing all his favorite people and all his enemies are in hell and suffering. It's just it's so fucking good.
What movie is that?
No, it's an old book called Dante's Inferno.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I saw something really interesting, James, to kind of insert since we're talking about Rob, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So, since you're just, on it, after House of a Thousand Corpses, he directed his second album, Sinister Urge, and after that, he directed Devil's Rejects, as we talked about. And as a result of that, he wanted to do something else, and I don't know if you guys know about this, but he actually wrote a movie before House of a Thousand Corpses called The Crow 2037, and he was also supposed to direct it, but the studio decided that it wasn't what they wanted, it was too much, and they decided to shelve it.
Wait, I wonder if that was related to the original The Crow.
Kind of. So,
back
in, if I remember correctly, back in 1997, I think, it was announced that Rob Zombie would be making a directorial debut with an entry in the Crow franchise that was The Crow 2037. That didn't happen, and then, his first movie ended up being House of a Thousand Corpses. But thankfully, the screenplay Zombie wrote was actually on the internet, so you can actually legitimately read the entire movie script on the internet.
Ooh, that's really cool. That's not very often they release those.
No, and I think the synopsis that he said, it was in 2010 when a young boy and his mother are murdered on Halloween night by a satanic priest. A year later, the boy is resurrected as the Crow. 27 years later, and unaware of his past, he has become a bounty hunter on a collision course with his now all-powerful killer.
Ooh,
that's really cool.
Said,
reminds me of the game, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, what is it? Lucid Dream or something like that? Lucid Dreams? Something like that. Basically where a boy is just haunted by Satan and he's doing his bidding, kind of.
Oh wow. That's really cool, actually.
It just reminded me of that.
Yeah.
That's really neat. What's it called again so I can actually look it up?
Lucid Dreams? I believe that's the name. It's Lucid something.
Lucid.
Are you talking about a film here?
No, a game.
A game.
Oh, okay.
LSD Lucid Dreaming Emulator.
What's it? What?
You're talking about LSD, right? The game LSD.
No.
No, it's called Lucid Dream Adventure.
Oh, it's a different one. That the LSD is called Lucid Dream Simulator.
That's neat. So yeah, Rob Zombie would make his was going to make his own kind of like Crow movie, but didn't work out very well.
You know what? I do want to see the script of that, because one of the assignments in class last week was script writing. And I will just say, I want to see how he formats scripts. I'm interested in seeing how a bunch of other people format their scripts, because god damn, I hate script formatting. I know it's a thing of like, oh, you're not supposed to change it, because wait, hold on. I don't need my teacher seeing this, but like, it's been here for the past decade, you know, you can't just change up your scripts like that. I just hate the format of script writing.
I've heard it's a pain in the ass, actually.
It is, because it doesn't have to be the most specific thing, but it's like, you get used to the formatting the more you do it, but it's just annoying when you're starting out.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're actually reading it, it feels more confusing to me than just, like, putting, like how you guys have seen how how I write my scripts, and I apologize for that, but I'm still detailed in them, you know?
Alright. I got the link for you, Luna. I'm sending it to the chat now.
Okay.
So it should pop up here in just a second if I can figure out how to minimize my fucking window. God damn. Oh, there it is. Okay. Alright, there it is. I'm sending it to the general chat here.
Oh,
So you
sorry,
both
the
have
game
access
was
to
not Lucid Dreams, it was Lucius.
Lucius?
Oh, okay.
Lucius.
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 Ignore the picture of Chop Top flipping off the camera.
James.
Well, I think it's funny.
It's my favorite picture of it.
You know,
God.
I'm not surprised.
Ashley, what the fuck did you send me?
Wait, what did I send you?
This script, it looks like one of those websites where it's so fucking old, it's gonna hack me.
Oh wow, this is an old man. Wow, that's a really old.
He wrote this back in like the 1990s.
My computer says not secure.
Nice. I'll see if I could try to find another one, but I don't know if I'll be able to, man.
No, it's
Damn.
fine. It's like, I'm not gonna die or anything. It was just funny.
God, it's so funny.
Oh, that's good. When you actually click on the link, it just brings up like a PDF file. But...
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was super interesting that he was going to make a Crow movie.
It's cool.
But yeah,
you can still read it too. That's
I know. But so
oh man, he did write it in script format. Ugh.
God,
oh wow, the
imagine.
script is written as a script. No way.
No way, man. But
Something you will learn about me. I hate script format.
Yeah.
Continue.
Speaking of a movie, I guess. So trying to get background. Yes. So Rob released his third solo album, Educated Horses, in 2006. And it didn't get that great of reviews. So he's like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna go make another movie. So that's what he did. So we're gonna get into the reimagining of John Carpenter's Halloween.
Ooh.
His first one that he made.
My mother hates that movie. She doesn't.
Are you talking
She
about...
originally said she didn't like the movie, but she ended up liking it. I don't know why I said that. Continue. Sorry.
You're good. James, what's your personal thoughts of Rob Zombie's Halloween 1?
Funny enough, I actually watched that as my first introduction to Halloween.
Really? Even before John Carpenter's films?
Mm-hmm. I saw that before I saw John Carpenter.
What'd you think of it?
So I'm slightly biased, but I really liked it. I'm also I'm really partial to Rob Zombie's hillbilly style, which I've heard James A. Janice from Dead Meat call it.
Yeah, hillbilly style. I love it.
Yeah, it's named after his album there, of course. I really, really love the just horrifically gritty and just fucked up settings that he puts out. Because it's gonna sound terrible. I've seen shit like that in my life, and I've seen it growing up. I used to go to a friend's house where shit was like that, and it's just interesting to me.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's why I identify. That's why I like those films a lot. It's just I really like seeing that gritty, horrid aesthetic for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
You identify with it more.
Yeah, that type of household, especially seen in like the beginning of Rob Zombie's Halloween, is unfortunately really common here in the South.
Yeah.
Ignore what I just said.
Ignore. Luna, I heard you. Luna, I heard you.
Ignore. Sorry, I was okay. Just for a little bit of context, because they. Okay, I've been learning my countries, and I like have all my countries down pat now. But
Did you forget what country you live in?
Huh?
Did you forget what country you lived in?
No, but when you said South, I was like, does like our area count as the South? But
we live in Florida! You can't get any more South!
No, because we're not South America. That's what I was thinking. When you said South America, I was like, that's weird. But no, we're in North America.
It's from the South. It's not from South America.
James is having a fucking aneurysm over here.
I'm learning. That's what... Okay. Oh, for a little bit more context, just for funsies, why not? I actually have a certificate on my wall right now, and the exact thing.
Don't try and dissuade the conversation from that shit.
No, it gets worse. The exact certificate says, most likely to drown while swimming to Hawaii from Texas. Because you know how Hawaii on a map is like right below Texas?
Oh, no, Alaska's an island, right?
Huh?
Oh, no, Alaska's an island, right?
Wait, what?
Oh, and of course, Alaska's also an island, of course.
Yeah, of course. Because it's totally not above Canada, which I actually also just did not know. Okay,
right.
Y'all need to stop. I went to a bad middle school. I didn't learn my geography.
No, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at James. He's making me laugh.
Luna,
James, you're such
give me the name of one country in South America.
Argentina.
Oh shit, is that there?
I told you I learned my countries.
I misspelled Argentina. Fuck. Okay,
wait, do you not know where your countries are, James?
No, I just forgot if it was actually in there or kind of closer to Spain.
Wow, look at the hypocrisy.
No, I'm not a hippopotamus. Fuck you.
You need another one, Chile. It's like literally.
James,
I'm glad Ashley caught that.
James, you are a hippopotamus. Get real.
You called me a hypocrite. I was like, no, I'm not a hippopotamus. Fuck you.
I love the offense.
Yeah. Anyway, so countries, am I right?
They're so fun.
So, going back, I guess a little bit to Rob Zombie's first Halloween movie. I find it so funny that we talk about this. So, I don't know if you guys know, James, you might, but there's actually a huge feud between John Carpenter and Rob Zombie.
Really?
And yeah, a huge feud. Like they sell their different. But so basically, as you know, Zombie directed the remake of Carpenter's 1978 horror movie Halloween in 2007, and basically what happened is the director was super cold towards him, and he literally, Carpenter literally called Zombie a piece of shit during an interview with film students.
Oh,
I would have loved that.
That's wild. Hearing two of my favorite directors go at it like that.
Well, Carpenter was mad because he remade his movie, but
Yeah.
Hey.
Was he not expecting it?
Not that I know of. No.
They didn't give him
the rights directly from the director.
I don't know. Actually,
no, I guess that would be the company. I don't know how all that shit works, but I should learn that. I should really learn that.
Maybe, perhaps.
That's actually really interesting how, like, the remake could actually cause a feud like that.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I always thought that remakes were, like, agreed upon beforehand. Like, they talked to the directors and everything.
Well, remember the thing with, what is it? Like, parodies. Like, the parody rule that, like, with Weird Al?
Yeah.
He doesn't need to ask for permission to parody the songs, but he does so anyway out of general courtesy. I think the thing is, if you're making, like, a parody, or you're making a remake of something, I don't think you need permission.
Okay.
I think if it's your own original story, just with the same title, it's allowed. Which, technically, in this case, I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, that's the thing that kind of confuses me, though. I don't know if it falls under that same ladder or not.
Because it was literally, like, the same... Not the same plot, but the same, like, characters and the same kind of idea of what John Carpenter was doing. So it's interesting. I don't know, like, what falls under the line of direct copyright.
Yeah. Who knows? But, I mean, I don't know why he's worrying. I mean, like, the Rob Zombie movie was okay, but they're not even comparable. Carpenter's is one of the greatest horror movies of all time. It's you can't beat it. You can't. I mean, I love Rob Zombie, but I'm not a huge fan of the Halloween remakes. I'm not. They're not on my platter here.
I personally like them. I'm just partial to them because I saw them first anyway. I haven't seen the second one, though.
I'm coming in with a new opinion. I'm not a big fan of Halloween at all.
Don't tell your mother that.
Your mom's gonna rip your head off, man.
I swear to God, I can't.
I swear, I'm gonna hear Luna's door bust down. I'm gonna hear like the snap of a leather belt or something.
Wait, no, I don't get beat.
We do not. Here on the Weird Whisperers podcast, we do not condone child violence.
Here we go. Well, I mean, technically, I'm not a child, so. I say technically.
We do not condone people violence.
Here we go. I mean, unless Jarek was here, then I would condone it. Yeah, no, yeah, my mom is a big fan of Halloween, so if she knew, I'd be afraid. I
went trick-or-treating with you guys once, and I wore the Michael Myers costume, and your mom wouldn't shut up about it the entire time.
Yeah, my mom gets very passionate about her horror movies.
She was excited, and I feel like the only reason she likes me is because I own the I own the Myers mask.
Who said my mom likes you? That was a joke. That was a joke. No, she likes basically everyone in the group, except for Yeah. But they're well aware of that. Yeah, no, it's, I don't know, the movies just don't hit for me, like, cause I grew up with horror movies, like I said, my mother was very what's the word? Help me out, guys.
I'm trying to think of the word.
She was a very avid horror movie lover and watcher.
Enthusiast.
So that's how I got into it. But I didn't get into, like, traditional horror movies. For some reason, my parents didn't let me watch them. So, like, Annabelle I wasn't allowed to watch, Scream I wasn't allowed to watch. But every weekend, my dad would go out and get, like, these random knockoff horror movies. So that's what I grew up on, these random knockoff horror movies that were still pretty good. I can't remember the name of any of them, and they're not mainstream whatsoever, but yeah.
I love random knockoff horror movies.
Yeah, Yeah, you see, they're good. So when it comes to like actual movie series or like well-known movies, I'm usually not the biggest fan. Like I like Annabelle, I like Scream, just not a big fan of like Children of the Corn or Halloween, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like just I mean, I like the Halloween franchise as like a cult classic, but they're not my go to horror movies, if that makes sense. So, I mean,
I feel like they were very overhyped.
Yeah, and just also just you know, I've been going. This is gonna be my 7th year going to horror nights. You know how many freaking Halloween houses I've been to in horror nights? I've been through at least 4 out of 7.
For Halloween.
Yeah, they have them like almost every year. I'm like, dude, chill.
Like The Walking Dead.
Oh my god, not this again.
As you guys can tell from my profile picture.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'll say, as you guys can tell from my profile picture, I really like Halloween, especially the first one.
Which I apologize for ragging on it a little bit. Like, I'm not saying they're bad movies, I'm just not a personal fan of them. Like, I could go down to the technical aspect of them and, like, the filmmaking processes and everything, but, like, actual movie-wise, I'm not the biggest fan.
The first one I feel like does the best out of all of them, especially if you watch it on an old CRT TV on VHS. Good lord, it is a almost different movie with the way it's shot.
That makes it. Well, I guess because it was platformed for that, it probably would have made more sense.
Yeah. Let me snag you a couple pictures actually from that, just so you can take a look at them. But
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay.
But yeah, for like for people comparing Zombies Halloween and Carpenter's Halloween, like people get into like damn near fist fights about it because people are just like, oh, Rob Zombies are okay, and then other people are like, Carpenter's film is a horror masterwork. The 80s and 90s sequels are mediocre to awful. Zombies films are close to being anywhere watchable. They're ugly. They're written horribly. Every character's an asshole. Like
Yeah,
god awful filmmaking. Like,
yeah, I have like the personal experience of somebody just not liking Rob Zombies just because it wasn't the original. Like I said, my mom, she loves Halloween. For the longest time, she was like, I hate the Rob Zombie Halloweens. They're awful. Then we watched them together one day, and she was like, okay, these aren't as bad as I thought they were. So I think it also comes down to a thing of, you see the original, you really like the original, then they go and change it up, and it's okay, but you just want to support the original more than any knockoff, quote unquote knockoff. Personally, I don't have that much of a preference. I actually do like both of them. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate them, but it's just, especially with James. Which one of the Halloween movies of Rob Zombies is the one that the director cut is something that I don't really like? Is that the second one?
Oh, that's the first one there.
It is the first one. Okay.
Yeah. I sent a side-by-side video comparison on the VHS and the 4K.
Thank you. But yeah, also another interesting thing, since we're on the Halloween franchise here, like after he did the first one, Rob had no interest of doing the sequel, but he made one anyway.
That would make more sense why the sequel wouldn't have been as like inspired.
Yeah. Which I like the first one better than his second one, but I don't know.
I'm a big fan of his wife.
Hmm?
I think that was her biggest issue with the 2 Halloween movies was
Sherry?
Yeah. Which I liked her acting in not in Halloween, sorry, in the Firefly trilogy, not as much in Halloween.
That one I agree with. I do agree with you actually on that one. Like, it's just the character is okay, but she wasn't really in the film for very long, and I don't think she really did anything to add to the plot, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, she's just kind of there to be there.
Yeah. Like, cause didn't she kill herself, like, very early on in the movie?
Oh yeah, because she was a mother, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Because the dad was an asshole, and Mike went on a fucking. He had that dog in him, and he went on this murderous rampage and killed his sister. He killed his father, or stepfather, I think it was actually. And he got sent away to this place. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna head out. So that's what she did, and we never saw her again. And then was it the second movie that she fucking showed up on some fucking white horse or something? I still don't understand what that was about. What was the horse? What was with the horse?
I think he really just wasn't inspired, so he just went fuck all and just threw everything at it.
Historically, a white horse in the Bible. I say, why the fuck am I quoting the Bible? I'm a Satanist.
And you're technically Jewish too, so look at that double whammy here.
Yeah. Oh, in the past, the white horse has been what the horseman Death rides.
Mm-hmm.
Pale white horse. So I have a feeling it's an analogy to that.
That makes sense. I love the whole. Sorry, that just reminds me of what's his face, a cranky Christmas guy.
Yeah, be more specific, man.
Scrooge?
Yeah, Scrooge! The whole black horse is chasing him and everything.
Yeah.
The opposite.
Humpses. But yeah, I think I'm looking it up, and I'm just gonna read this word for word. The term white horse is a fictional metaphor used in the film Halloween 2. It is linked to instinct, purity, and the drive of the physical body to release powerful and emotional forces like rage with ensuing chaos and destruction.
Ooh. That does make sense. It's just like, if you don't know that though, it doesn't hit.
Yeah. Which,
if you do know, that's a really cool analogy though.
Yeah, I think that actually, if I remember correctly, I think that's actually an excerpt from the subconscious psychosis of dreams, I think. So, like, cause, in the movie, the second one, the white horse is is kind of driving Michael in his mind. That's why he kills. That's kind of like his drive. And he's following that built-in instinct, and that's why Laurie sees this horse at the end, showing us that she too has that evil instinct inside her with the horsey, the pony, if you will.
The pony, if you will.
Pony, if you will.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Uh-huh.
No, you're good. No, I was just say, it could have like that thing, but to me personally, and James could probably murder me in my sleep. Who knows? I'll have to keep my eye open tonight. But honestly, it's just kind of made up psychobabble to kind of justify his wife's presence in the film. But that's just me.
I'm not gonna rag on him or any. I am. I don't think it's necessary for his wife to be in every film.
No.
I said it. I don't think it's all that necessary. It's cool, it's cute, but it's not that necessary.
No. But, it's his films. Godspeed to him. He can do what he wants with his eye. Godspeed with him.
As you will. Which I can't speak for any of this shit, because I'm a film student who barely knows how to produce a film, so I'm just here as, slightly more experienced person.
Yeah. Well, slightly more experience is better than no experience that I possess.
You possess some.
How so?
Because you understand when I nerd out about this shit.
Fair enough. Yeah. I was gonna say, bitch, I'm literally, I somehow got a managing role in a club this year. How the hell did I land that is the real question.
Same. We really, we pulled out of the gutter for that one.
I know. We'll see how that goes.
Got this. I've gotten no emails, so I'm doing good.
I know.
As long as nobody talks to me.
Yeah, I haven't gotten shit, dog.
Dog.
Oh, shit, dog.
I got that dog in me.
You gonna get out of that water. You're gonna get wet.
You're gonna get wet. Keep it on now, shit, dog.
Shit, dog.
But, yeah, James, what's what since you're more experienced on the Halloween franchise for just I guess both really.
I got that dog in me. I'm so sorry. I missed the dog part.
You didn't miss much, dog. You're good.
Right in.
Sorry. Go ahead.
You're good.
Like, actually answer your question. I got that dog in me.
I got that dog in me. You know, hey, them dogs barking. You know what I'm saying?
I just zoned back in because I keep getting texts from a certain person. Which...
Oh, fair enough. I got you, fam. But yeah, James, what's things that you like about Rob Zombie's version, and then what's stuff that you don't like so much that the original does better?
Of course, the original and the Rob Zombie one almost feel like two completely separate stories to me.
Mm-hmm.
The Rob Zombie one I like a lot about showing what led up to Michael Myers being so violent, because we get to see his home life. We get to see everything they dealt with. We get to see his horrible piece of shit dad and his jackass mom, sister that was a complete dick to him. And that way, it almost makes Myers almost more sympathetic in that one. You understand kind of why he's killing. You understand why he's angry and why he's become so blank-faced. Almost all the kills he does in that movie, aside from the later ones, and especially in the early part of the film, doesn't feel like it comes out of nowhere. It feels more like these people wronged him and he's finally snapped.
Yeah.
That's something I really like about the beginning of it. I love of course, the good old hellbilly stuff that Rob Zombie does. I like seeing Kid Myers transition to a big old, barely talking Myers. I like the aspect of him constantly feeling the need to cover his face, which gives us a reason for him constantly covering his face like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't get touched on much in the original movie, because in the original movie he's much more of a wild card.
Yeah.
That's that's the things I like about that one. And also, whoever actress they picked for Laurie in that movie, I thought did a really good job on it. I thought she sold it very, very well, and especially the actor that played Loomis in there. He can't quite match Donald Pleasance's "I shot him 6 times," but it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Good lordy, but not much beats the original Halloween for me, especially now that I've seen some scenes of it on VHS. Good lordy, I love the original Halloween so much.
Yeah.
The way it was shot, the soundtrack, the amazing soundtrack of it, just especially the mask. The Myers' look doesn't get better than the original look right there. I love the way that mask was made. I love how amazing it looks in the dark, peering out like that. I like all the scenes of Myers actually attacking because he feels so stiff. He feels so lumbering. He's this giant, unknown presence. Yet, in fact, Laurie doesn't even know she's being attacked by local legend Michael Myers in the entire first film. It's just a random assailant, a blank white mask that has no reaction to any sort of physical pain, busting through her house. And I just again.
I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. The ultra demons from the other side were beckoning me. I had no choice.
This is twice now you've done that.
What was the first time? What was the first time, James?
One of the last episodes. No, that was me that did that, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I was about to say, I took notes on your first podcast.
You took notes on my podcast?
There's no way you took notes, man. I love you.
I told you I did.
I love you.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I
damn.
wanted to make sure I got everything I was thinking.
Oh, damn, dog. You're gonna have fun taking notes for the next episode, then, ding.
Oh, God.
Good luck with that.
One of my notes is just talk about Vecna. By the way, I've seen Stranger Things 4 and neither of them have, so.
I have not.
Yeah. Alright.
I think, honestly, the backstory to, Michael Myers kind of takes away from him a little bit. I know that's a very unpopular opinion right now when we're humanizing all the villains and everything. I feel like some villains just don't need a reason to be a villain. You know what I mean? I feel like it's more fun having the mysteriousness of why do you kill? oh well, I guess you just kind of do.
You just kind of do it.
Yeah, I agree with you that I just personally I found it very, very interesting seeing that, like, a reason why he kills like that. I just thought it was really neat.
Yeah.
You know what Rob Zombie would really have fun making? Freddy Krueger.
Ooh, they should give that to him.
Ooh, that would be fun.
There would be no end to, like, the shit that he could do, especially in the dream sequences. Oh,
That would be trippy, and I'd love it.
I just want to see what he'd do to the design of Freddy.
I know.
oh yeah.
Okay. Also, I just kind of glanced at the clock here. We're spending a lot of time on stuff, and I think we still have a few more movies to cover. So I think we'll speed run some facts and stuff, and then we'll just kind of stop and talk about other stuff. So, because there's some things that I actually dug up that I thought was super interesting. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, by the way.
Oh, you're good. Let's hear it. Let's go.
Yeah. So yeah, I just looked at the clock. Like, oh my god, we're almost at 2 hours here. But yeah, so basically, after he did Halloween 2, Rob actually released an animated film called The Haunted World of El Super Visto, which is actually based on a comic book that he wrote, which is The Adventures of El Super Visto. And Rob actually created and co-created 7 different comic book series for publishers such as Dark Horse Image Comics and Cross Gen Comics. So that's definitely his art end coming up. And then in 2009, in between tours, he made the movie Lords of Salem, which I haven't seen.
I'd love to.
I want to. Do you have anything to say about that? Those who have seen it?
I don't think any of us have seen it here, actually.
Oh damn! Well, then we'll skip that. Sorry, audience. That one's gonna be a dud if any of you are fans of Lords of Salem. Maybe we'll watch it and we'll cover in a future episode, but
yeah.
And then, of course, after he released his last album, The Venomous Rat Regeneration Vendor, he actually started a crowdfunding campaign for 31. It was released in 2016, which is also the same year that his album, The Electric Warlock Acid Witch Satanic Orgy Celebration Dispenser. Yes, that's the actual album title, was released. And another fun fact about Rob, he actually helped design a haunted house called the Great American Nightmare, which is actually based on his movies. Unfortunately, it hasn't been in operation since 2015, but a really cool thing, Rob actually wrote a song by the same name that he actually wrote and worked on and recorded and performed with Howard Stern.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's cool.
It's actually one of my favorite songs, but, you know, I'm a loser like that, so.
You gotta listen to it.
Yeah, I like it. And then, so technically, Rob's made 2 haunted houses, including the one for Horror Nights.
Which I've heard was instrumental in reviving the entire event in general.
Oh, yeah.
What was the other house?
The other house was the Great American Nightmare one that he made.
Oh, okay.
Actually, let me look that up here. Great American. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, because I'm interested. Wait, is it back? It says you can buy tickets. Wait, hang on. Oh shit, it's back! Holy crap!
Ooh, it's back?
Okay, so Rob Zombie's Great American Nightmare starts on September 25th and runs through the November 1st. It has haunted house technology featured in 3 different haunted attractions. No way! So, there's 3 attractions. So they have Captain Spaulding's Clown School in 3D, The Devil's Rejects 31, Bloody and Bloody Boulevard. They have a haunted house for Captain Spaulding. I think that's amazing.
That's amazing.
It is.
Where is this? Oh, it's in Illinois.
Of course. The only thing we have is Horror Nights.
Hey, don't diss my Horror Nights like that!
No! I meant, like, general, like, fear-wise. There's only, like, a few things we can do. Well, actually, we have a few things. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Hallow Scream in Busch Gardens and Orlando. We got Horror Nights. We got Sir Henry's Haunted Trail. We got Kirby Farms. We got all kinds of stuff.
Check out Kirby Farms.
Yes. Yeah.
This is sponsored. No, it's not.
Not sponsored.
We need to not do that to you guys. Not
Oh my god.
sponsored.
I'm gonna have so many freaking links here. Yeah, James, you got anything you want to add?
Unfortunately, I don't have much to add about this right here.
The audio is like slowly getting lower and lower.
Mine or James?
James.
Probably mine.
Yeah. I'm just going through a list of stuff. So we got Halloween Horror Nights, of course. Busch Gardens Hallow Scream in Tampa. Hallow Scream in Orlando. We got Screamin' Street, which is actually a drive-through haunted house. I think that's super cool.
Drive-through haunted house?
Yeah, it's in Orlando.
We're gonna do that at some point.
It's in Orlando.
Ooh,
and it's the price is per car, so that's awesome. There's Screamageddon in Dade City. We got Haunt Nights in Jacksonville. We got Petrified Forest in Alamonte Springs. Why is Busch Gardens spectacular here? I don't want kids crap. No, Mickey. Oh, Spookala. No, we're not bringing back Mickey's Not So Scary. Absolutely not. Not that horrible thing.
What's Mickey's Not So Scary?
Oh, no.
It's okay. So, another little tidbit from our last episode. So, Mickey's Not So Scary is basically very expensive trick or treating at Disneyland, and the reason for their creation is because Disney was actually jealous of the success that Horror Nights had, so they made their own Halloween event, but they made it kid friendly.
Okay, see, that's their downfall.
Mm-hmm. Imagine
having kids.
God, ew.
Ew.
Hey, you know what? If I was ever gonna have kids, I'm not taking them to no damn Disney. I'm taking them to Brick or Treat in Legoland. You know what I'm saying?
I'm taking them to the alley and seeing what candy I can convince them to get from strangers.
Yeah. Yeah, here.
Shouldn't be a parent.
Damn, man. Damn. Well, man, this episode was a mess. Glad to know.
I will take partial responsibility for that.
Hey, you know,
I literally derailed every conversation.
Hey, you know, that's podcast. We talk about stuff, and whatever pops in our mind, we talk, you know?
Yeah, that's how podcasts are. It's okay to derail a bit there.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and call it quits here then, if we don't have anything else to add on. So, thank you guys in the audience for bearing with us. We greatly appreciate it. I hope you learned some cool factoids about Rob Zombie, and maybe we'll check out his movies. And also, very, very special thank you for Luna for joining us today on today's episode. And please be sure to check out her podcast, Elevator Conversations. We will leave a link down below in the description. Best shit. If you have a bad day, you need to see this crap. They will make you smile. They'll make you laugh. They'll make your day. So, and that is a threat.
There is a new episode that will come out eventually.
Eventually.
Soon.
Yeah, soon. It will come out soon. But yes, definitely go check them out.
About uploading.
You're fine. You know, busy schedules happen, but you know.
Oh yeah.
We make do with what we got.
Yeah. I do recommend our first episode. Mark Wahlberg did what? You should make that the title of this video. Rob Zombie did what?
Did what? You know what? Maybe I will.
We should.
But literally just steal our thumbnail.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys can see it because we're not recording the actual face cams for right now. But I just watched Luna Bell put her entire face in her keyboard.
Yeah.
I've never done that in my life.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well,
see how that audio comes out.
Oh, absolutely. Oh man, I'm gonna have so much fun editing this.
I legitimately feel your pain.
No, you're fine. If anything, hey, James gave you pain on your podcast. It's about time we get our due diligence, which unfortunately James isn't editing this. I am.
He got it backfired on you there.
James doesn't have to edit. That's why he doesn't understand the pain.
I have edited. I edited the entire first one.
Okay, he understands a little bit.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Okay,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Remember. You guys told them about like the rule that I had to make for my podcast, right?
Yeah, I did.
God damn it, James.
Okay, a whole ban on YouTube.
Whole ban on YouTube. No, shut. You know what? We're gonna have to end it right now. Thank you guys for joining us today. No,
Apes full rate supreme.
No, shut up.
Stop.
Apes together, strong together.
God damn.
Bananas.
Well, thank you guys. No, shut up. Well, thank you guys for joining us on today's episode.
Right.
We'll go ahead and end it before King Kong over here starts busting out and throwing bananas down chimney chutes and whatever. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Luna, for joining us. Thank you. For anyone who is interested, we will link her channel and her first episode down in the comment section because YouTube hates my guts and will not let me post it in the description. Thanks, YouTube. So be sure to look out for that. Anyway, thank you guys and stay spooky, everybody.